Hello, this is Andre with Tongue Tales on Monday. Today's tale is about the tongue of a young woman with the chief complaint of PCOS, Polycystic Ovary Syndrome. For this case, I must share with you not only her tongue image, but also her menstrual history, because information would tell us a lot about the nature of her imbalance. Though, of course, we are going to speak about her tongue diagnosis in great detail. So she's a 28 years old female, and her menstrual cycle is 30 days, with the period lasting 4 to 5 days. She reports very painful periods. The pain extends from the lower abdomen to the lower back, and a hot bottle helps to release the pain somewhat. The pain is worse on the second or third day of the period. The color of the blood is mostly light red, but on heavy days it is darker, and she sees a clot on such a day, but not on any other days. Her bleeding is mostly moderate, but painful on the heavier days. Before periods, she usually feels bloated and has severe water retention. She also has breast tenderness and irritability. On those days, she also feels hot before the period, but this symptom comes in conjunction with cold hands and feet. Now, let's see what her tongue would tell us. The coating of her tongue is thin, white, and slightly dry. We can say right away we are dealing with some sort of fluid deficiency. Shape. Now, the shape, her tongue is regular length. That's good. It's normal. It is a slightly thin tongue. In conjunction with dryness, it hints at blood deficiency. We can also observe very prominent teeth marks. You can see them here and here. And that would be the sign of spleen Qi deficiency and dampness retention. We can also observe elevated tongue ridges on both sides, and that's a sign of liver Qi stagnation. At the root of the tongue, we can also observe a slight depression. That's a sign that kidney Qi is either deficient or declining. Finally, we can also observe that the tip of the tongue is slightly swollen, so there is an excess of Yang Qi building up in the upper burner, the heart region here. Now, the color. In terms of the color, we can see this is a pale tongue. Along with the dry quality and a thin tongue, we confirm we are dealing with blood deficiency. However, we can also observe dark areas on the tongue. Here, 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 and also here. These are a sign of blood stagnation. Next, we can observe a redder tip of the tongue. In combination with the swollen tip of the tongue, we begin to suspect even stronger that we are potentially looking at a mild case of heart fire. Let us talk about texture next. Regarding the texture, we can observe elevated white points all over the tongue, but especially on the root of the tongue. This is a sign that indicates phlegm or dampness accumulation. Let me clarify terminology a bit. There are different types of points and bumps on the tongue, and they have their own terminology and clinical significance. For example, a red elevated bumps are often called eruptions. Zhēn. These are often red and can indicate either heat or toxic heat in the body. They may also suggest an acute invasion of pathogenic factors such as wind heat or heat accumulation in the blood. Then we also have sharp point-like projections. These are called thorns. Zi. They are thin, so there is not enough yin substance to expand them, but they are tall, indicating the presence of yang qi that pushes them out. These are most often indicative of empty heat stagnation. However, in this case, when I'm looking at this tongue, we observe white elevated bumps. You can see them here, here, and here. These are typically called bumps. Ge. Typically, they represent accumulation of phlegm, cold dampness, or qi stagnation. If they're purple, they would indicate blood stagnation. Now, when bumps grow and become large, like we see here on the root of the tongue, we refer to them as knots. Jie. These signify more serious blockages or accumulations, which often involve substantial phlegm or severe stagnation of qi. These nodules indicate deeper, more chronic conditions that are typically harder to treat. Now, let us untangle it. At the heart of the problem, the way I see it, we are dealing with the liver qi stagnation. We can observe these ridges on the tongue, and liver qi stagnation explains premenstrual pain, the feeling of bloating, breast tenderness, and the feeling of heat with cold extremities. Liver qi stagnation leads to the stagnation of blood. We can observe these dark patches on her tongue as evidence of blood stagnation. Painful periods, the presence of clots in the blood, as well as the fact that the blood gets darker on the most painful days, these are all pointing in the direction of blood stagnation. Also, blood stagnation is one of the causes of blood deficiency. We can observe a pale, dry, thin tongue. These are all signs of blood deficiency. Her periods are not heavy, which is often attributed to blood deficiency. Another potential reason for blood deficiency is spleen qi deficiency. We can observe very prominent teeth marks indicating spleen qi deficiency with dampness accumulation. And so liver qi invades spleen, causing swelling before periods. So she retains water before periods, right? Spleen qi invaded by the liver. Now, deficient spleen qi fails to produce adequate amounts of blood. Therefore, the tongue looks thin and not swollen, as in many cases of dampness accumulation, because there is also blood deficiency. Dampness in the presence of qi stagnation also turns into phlegm. We can observe phlegm formation on different levels. For instance, here starting with small bumps, and we can also observe large bumps, on the root of the tongue. That would be corresponding with the lower burner, where the ovaries are. So potentially phlegm also hinders blood circulation, contributing to blood stagnation. We can also observe a slight indentation in the root of the tongue that indicates the depletion of kidney qi. Her menstrual pain extends from the lower abdomen to the lower back, which is a clear indication of kidney involvement. Now, kidney qi supplies spleen qi, but the presence of blood deficiency draws on the resources of kidney yin. I tend to think of PCOS as a constitutional affliction that is rooted in kidney deficiency. And spleen qi deficiency is secondary to kidney deficiency. Therefore, addressing kidney deficiency is a very important part of the process. Finally, we can think of the slight case of heart fire as coming from liver qi stagnation as well. Stagnation transforms into heat and travels to the upper burner as evidenced by the red swollen tip of the tongue. Here you see this is yang qi gets trapped in the upper burner. So let us select the right combination of herbs for this patient. We are going to use Rén Shēn, ginseng, and Bái Zhú, Atractylodes, to strengthen the spleen and transform dampness. This combination also helps us to produce more blood. Also, Rén Shēn can address the root cause of this problem, deficient kidneys, because Rén Shēn strengthens kidney qi. We can also add Líng, Poria, to further deal with phlegm accumulation in combination with Chén Pí, aged tangerine peel. This herb is often added in cases of phlegm accumulation because it regulates qi. That's an essential therapeutic action when dealing with phlegm stagnation. Next, we are going to add a combination of Xiāng Fú, Cyperus, and Bái Sháo, white Paeonia root, to address liver qi stagnation. And we are going to add Chái Hú, Bupleurum, to make this action of releasing liver qi even stronger. Finally, we are going to add Dān Shēn, Salvia, and Chōng ligusticum, a powerful combination of herbs to dispel blood stasis and to promote movement of qi and alleviate pain. This particular combination of herbs is especially useful when pain is relieved by the application of heat. So this concludes our presentation for this case. For the complete list of herbs in this formula, please check the notes in the description of this video. Now, if you have any health issue and would like to know what your tongue tells on you, do not hesitate to get in touch with us. The contact information is also in the description to this video. And send us your tongue. We can talk about it next. I'm Andre with Tongue Tales on Monday, and I will see you next Monday.